Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Death Note. It is episode 33 and as always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions for the links, replace the parentheses dot pods with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. To those that came back, welcome back. Now, let's see. Good episode and it kind of went on the rail that we were on. So I was waiting for this here, for a confrontation between Misa and Takada. And we got it. Not only once, we got it twice. 2 rounds, and although it is sad to say, it was a clear 2-round victory for Miss Takada. So we had this little scene in the corridor where Misa clearly lost. I mean, she was stopped by the bodyguard, and Mochi did not jump in. I mean, I think he should have in this situation. If he is portrayed as being kind of manager and bodyguard, shouldn't he like defend at least a little bit his client? But no, so it was a gesture of power, a moment of power where Miss Takada, having 4 bodyguards, simply could stop Misa. And so that was the first bit where she was clearly more powerful in whatever kind of way. Then saying, oh, it's a friend of mine, don't treat her too rough. That's even like a slap in the face then. Because then you show that I can let you go whenever I want. So the CIA agent, former, let her go. So there was a clear victory there, and I think Misa was aware of that. And then they meet up, which was round 2, no question. And Misa, still being childish as she is, I think seriously had no chance at all of winning this. She may have thought she won it, but it was a clear victory for Takada again, because she got that one major information. There was a moment where she struggled when Misa told her that she's about to be married to Light. But then being said that Light will catch Kira. This moment told to Takada that Misa does not know who he is for real. She did in the past. She doesn't do it anymore. Due to not having the Death Note anymore. And that means in this moment he trusts Takada more than he does Misa, who he's with since years. So for Takada that is a clear, I am with Kira, right? You are with Light, true, but I am with Kira. And Kira is the real one, Light is just a facade by now. And that's why she was laughing, why she was grinning. It was a clear victory for her. She knew there is no real competition from Misa at all anymore. It's a bit sad for Misa, but I mean, in many regards, it developed into this. And I questioned in the past already how long Light will carry on with Misa, seeing that she does not give him anything anymore, in the meaning of power, abilities, and everything. He does not have to fear to get rid of her because the Shinigami that threatened him to kill him if he ever did anything against her is not there anymore either. So, yeah. And being a person that is completely focused on his own goals and on his own whereabouts and what's good for him only, he does not care. So, yeah. Right now I'm waiting for the moment when, if or if not, they will kill off Misa. And the interesting question is if she will do anything before that happens. I'm kind of hoping, but I think not. Then we had the whole situation around Teru, so he was not really well hidden. So Kira is aware of that, as it seems, which is okay. So he set up a trap already, making him run around with a fake notebook, sending him 5 pages, which is important. So those 5 pages can be used by himself. And I don't know if N is aware of that, because he seems to think that Light needs to contact Teru to do killing. which he doesn't, because if he has the pages, he can do it himself. So he's a direct threat, and not over corners, you know. So we will see where this is going. And Anne remembered Teru from broadcast, which was nicely shown, by the way. It reminded me of the idea of what they did in Sherlock with the Mind Palace of Sherlock Holmes. The idea that he, you know, is strongly concentrating and his mind does the work. So they had a little bit shaking of the world around him, his eyes shining blue and everything. That was very well done. I like it. It was a clever idea to show how it is done. It took me a second or two to understand that he's not in the here and now, but he's inside his memories, and that was cool. Very nicely done. So he's pretty sure that Teru is it, which is true. And in the end of the episode, Teru even showed that he is. I'm not sure if he wrote in the correct notebook there, because he was ordered to use the wrong one. So I guess what he did is having a notebook and putting a fake one of the original pages in, possibly, thus doing the killing. Just guessing. Or someone else was in the train as well, watching them and doing the killing. But I think it was himself, and he just had an additional page inside and is carrying around the wrong notebook, which will lure, depending on how good it's made, may lure Anne in that he knows where the notebook is while it isn't. So, bluffing, right? That's it. Anne is in Japan now. I'm not sure why. I mean, okay, he wants to have a face-off, and weirdly enough, Light is agreeing, which he didn't do in the past. So I mean, it feels like they want to speed it up, which is okay, because it is a stretched-out series, but it is not really fitting to the planning and clever way that Light was in the past, that he is kind of willing to go in a front-on thing. He wants to stand up, he wants to finish the whole game, he wants to take his throne, kind of said it like that. It just feels a little bit pushed there. I'm not sure why. We will see if there will be a real confrontation, and we still need one more player, right? Somewhere around Mello is hiding, so we're waiting for him as well. Then they brought in this comment of N. That he said it was about if he knows who, he's pretty sure who Kira is. He's pretty sure who ex-Kira is, which is Teru. He knows about Takara, so he has everything figured out, which, by the way, is very convenient, just saying, right? If you remember how complicated it was for L in the past. Ah, well. And his, what was his name? Commander Resta, something like that. So the FBI, CIA, whatever agent told him, why don't we just kill him, right? And there we are at this big discussion again. At this big discussion, N near saying it would not please L. L would not like that, even being dead, because you would justify it afterwards when the killing stopped. You would say, see, we got him, so I was right. Which would work, right? But there wouldn't be the way L would have wanted it, which I can see and understand. From a perspective of best for the world, general, right? I would strongly agree with you have to kill him, because he is killing people by the dozens every day. And if you're just, because it does not feel right, do not stop it, those deaths are on your head. But then, and we discussed that in the past, it is about the question of justice and how this society works and should work. Are you allowed to kill just by a hunch? Or even by, I have kind of a strong proof. Are you allowed then to do, the idea of justice, legal, and whatever the third one I always forget, at your own shoulders? I discussed it 1 or 2 episodes again. So, being a judge dread in the end. That is nothing that Nier touched. He was only about what L would feel like, and it would feel wrong to him. It is this moment of where is a point where you believe in the justice system and that you should not alone decide who is allowed or sentenced to die, but it should be a justice system with, a judge, and you should have proof for everything, and then the one that you claim to be the evil one has to have an option to defend himself and all this stuff that our justice systems do. At what point is it where you say it's not working anymore and you go back to the medieval or the Stone Age, right? And you say, okay, eye for an eye, or me do me. I will just do it myself because the justice system is not working. I mean, we kind of had this multiple times in the episode by now. It is this thing, when you look into the past, even a lot of people say they believe in the justice system, but if they would have like an option of time travel, it is always the same thing that people say. They would go back in time and kill Hitler, if you have one option to do it, because he is proven to be evil, proven to be guilty. Still would not really be a just thing, right? It would not be justice. Because if you would work in the idea that the most justice systems nowadays work, or should work, in my opinion, you would not kill him, but you would capture him and bring him to a trial, where he will likely, depending on the country, be sentenced to die, or for a prison sentence, which is eternity more neither. But still, that's a difference in, do you put it in the hands of a justice system or in your own hands? And people tend to think about putting it in their own hands when they feel that the justice system is broken, not working anymore, or betraying them. You can see this in trials. There are some of those online where the justice system, at least ethically, I would say, for many people, fails when people are close to laughing into the face after those that are left after killing or other crimes. And everyone has this gut feeling, and it was this person, but the proof is not strong enough, and thus innocence until proven guilty. The people go free, or with this very, very small sentence, or just that they have to be watched for 1 or 2 years by the police, stuff like that, right? And this person turns around and grins, stuff like that, and it is him. I mean, this grin was kind of a confession, but you cannot do anything. And I can see that this is the moment where people who are left, who are members of the family of the victims, feel like, okay, this justice system does not work. I will do that myself now. Which still is wrong, in my opinion. But I do understand this feeling and why they're doing it. So, from this perspective, we've seen how in this series, the justice system simply proved to not work at all, because they cannot catch him. It's not about that it does not work once you have him. It is about that if you cannot find him, you cannot do anything. And if there are now 1 or 2 people who are having a hunch or a strong hunch who it is, and going for it, it's kind of what, no offense there, the US did with high praised criminals in the negative way, right? There's this high list of terrorists and stuff like that. They, in most cases, don't go for any sentencing. They are out to kill. So there is a list, and I say like the top 10, and it very much felt during the last decades like the US and some other states were out, if you see him, you just kill him, right? It's not anymore about if we want to take him to any trial. I still strongly believe that in a real justice system, we should instead capture these persons and try to bring him to jail, because society kind of, I think, needs this. to deal with this properly if you want to really say we're living in a just system and we're living in a good system. I was running my mouth about that quite long, I'm sorry. But it's something that I am very strong about, feeling strong about. It's a problematic thing. I had discussions about that in my personal life with a lot of people when it is about what kind of sentence is valid and what not. Is death sentence at all a valid option? How long should anyone go to jail for what kind of crime? Because it very often seems like the balance is not correct. Like if someone is stealing something, he can go to jail the same amount of time sometimes, like someone who did, in my opinion, way worse thing like killing or raping. I mean, there is a balance problem, but it is a balance problem and it should be worked on, and it can be worked on. While if you kill someone, it's over. Just saying. And if you're wrong, then you're like, oh well, that was I'm sorry, I will put a rose on his grave or her grave, right? Not working. But here, as I said, Kira is a major threat, so I see that the agent thought about why not kill him, and the reason for not doing it from Nier's perspective is, in my opinion, the wrong reason. Because it is about how he feels, how things should be done. That's not something that really should be in consideration here. He should be about saving people. And it feels like he isn't anymore. He's really not about saving people. He's about winning the game, about kind of becoming the next L, about taking the mantle from L and proving himself to him, right? While people are dying around. So even the guys who are working for the justice system now are not really working for justice anymore. They are working for their very own reasons, which is not good, I think. So that's it. I hope you liked. I did, as always, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.